Hello. Hi, everyone. It's Kasia. This is an very impromptu live. I just didn't want to record this video and edit it. So I thought I'm going to go live. And if any of you joins in, then it will be fun to hang out. What am I going to talk about? During this live, we are going to be talking about my most beautiful decks. And this is a VR inspired VR to Simon, inspired by Simon in the Hermit's Cave. I love watching those videos, I have done probably the best of all my most beautiful decks of 24, 25, 20, I will be doing it probably forever. But the video that Simon posted kind of wasn't only about the most beautiful decks, but it was also about decks that, are kind of like touching your heartstrings a bit. I think I only have beautiful decks, most beautiful decks, so I couldn't show them all, but I am going to show you quite a few. I was trying to narrow it as much as I can, but you know me, it's not easy when you have so many amazing decks. I will try to start with the oldest decks that I kind of have in my memory that, touched me or stayed with me until now. And then we are going to move on with the newer and newer decks. We just have to... Oh, hey, Vicky! I need to actually change my hair like right now. It's so hot. My long hair is not going to work. So, hi, Victoria. I hope you're good. Haven't seen you for a long time. I'm going to be talking about my most beautiful decks. So there's a couple that you sent me. Oh, I'm sorry. Exactly. What did I call you? I realized too late. All right, guys. So, Victoria, you can hopefully keep an eye on me, because what do I want to start with? I want to start with like an older decks. Well, let's start with this one. This is one of my most beautiful decks, and this is Tarot of Transformation. So the production of this deck is not great, and I did trim mine and I did edge it gold at some point years ago. Like, I've been using this deck a long time, and it's a great deck. And this deck was, I think, one of the first decks of tarot that I had that had a very psychological companion book. It was one of those decks that I really loved using the book, and I read the book, and, kind of, it was many, many years ago. And yeah, that was my memory of this deck, that it's like psychological and evolutionary, and then the artwork was like maybe not necessarily something that I would go for usually, but when you look closer at the art, it's actually really beautiful and soulful. And I used to also really enjoy these keywords. I think they're really cool. So if you are joining now, just say hello and do the usual, like the video, etc. I was looking so nice for you guys, but I had to just change my hairstyle because it's so hot now. Something is not working because it's changing my... Okay. We're not to talk about me here. We're talking about the decks. So, Tarot of Transformation. Again, one of the first decks. I'm starting from the oldies and goodies. And these decks belong to my most beautiful decks. This one not because of production or anything like this, or not even the artwork, but mostly because it was, as I said, the first deck that was psychological, and I loved using it. So let's move on. What else did I have for... Oh, actually, Mary L. Tarot. I know it's probably in many people's favorites, but this was one of the first decks, and I don't know if you guys agree. This was one of the first decks when I got it in this, I don't remember, 2014 or something, like a long time ago. that maybe have sparked as a discussion, is this a tarot, right? Because this was the first deck that hasn't looked like Toff or Rider Waite Smith or anything like this. And I was really surprised, and I was like really excited and open. Actually, it was together with the Wild Unknown Tarot, which I also have the first edition of. Somewhere. Oh, this is the first time, guys, that I cannot find a deck. Right? Usually I just get up, go and find it. And now I don't know where my Wild Unknown is. And also I couldn't find my Doddle. But yes, this Mary L. Tarot was the first one that looked so different to anything I had before. And it was very similar story with the Wild Unknown that didn't have people, etc. So now it's normal occurrence. But at the time when I got these decks, this was totally and something different. So Mary L is still out there, and I think it's one of those decks that could have been created yesterday and it still would be, wow, this is a pretty cool deck. So another older deck that I got long time ago is the, what is it called? Tabula Mundi Tarot by M.M. Melin. And I think this one I want to just share. First of all, it's beautiful. Here, the production is also gorgeous. And I think this was, again, the first deck that had that crazy, opalescent foil added to the backs. That was the first time that I've seen it as well. And this was also one of not many decks that at that time was based on Toff and was actually praising, and it was another voice and expression of the Toff Tarot. And at that time when that came out, there weren't too many decks. This deck had first black and white edition, which was also beautiful. I used to have it. And then she came up with the colored one. And I think it's really cool and beautiful. And nowadays we have many more of Toff renditions, right? So, but when this came out, this was the first time I saw something like amazing about the bags and something very different and unusual around Toff. What else is older that I have? I think I rarely use this deck, but I think this embroidered forest tarot, whoever has that one, let me know. But this one is just a cute one. It's a cool idea, and mostly it ended up in my most beautiful decks because of the idea. So this is created by Alicia Vamvoukakis. She's married to a Greek person. She's British, but yeah, she came up with this idea. Do you remember, guys, when this deck came out? I can't remember exactly, but it was definitely before COVID. And I think she came up with this idea of embroidering all the tarot archetypes, and it's just so cute. I think the idea is cool, and it just looks beautiful. The majors, especially, are really sweet. And the whole vibe of this deck is kind of like, you're sitting somewhere in a wooden cottage in the forest and playing with this deck, and your chickens running around and you have a bonfire going on. It's this type of vibe of this deck, but it's beautiful, and I thought it deserves a spot in my most beautiful tarot decks. Do you guys have this deck? Do you know this, the embroidered forest tarot? We used to talk about this deck a lot, but recently, yeah, I haven't seen too many people using it. All right, moving back when I was starting. Okay, everybody showed it, but I know why. You cannot go forth with the most beautiful decks without Usi decks. They have amazing decks. I have all of their decks. Pagan Otherworld, the other Oracle, whatever it's called. Now I know where it is. What is it? Supra Oracle, exactly. Supra Oracle, and I thought I'm going to show this one, Materia Prima Oracle, because it's just so beautiful. Oh, hey, 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 hey. Yes, hello, hello. I should probably have a day where I actually come live. I'm pretty sure more people would know and would join without being, oh, something is happening. But I'm just so bad with consistency. I'm practicing. I will try next time maybe to give you guys a little bit more heads on, because I just realized I'm going to go live 15 minutes ago. So don't worry. Anyway, we are talking about my most beautiful decks, and this is via to Simon. So they are not just most beautiful in production, but also decks that kind of, have my heartstrings. So the UC decks in general, I think they incredible. They onto something. This addition of gold in this oracle deck, and just the idea of having what are they called? The table of things, right? It's just so cool. The chemical, what do you call them in English? Pierwiastki chemiczne. This is in my language, so you guys can translate. So yeah, it's so gorgeous. I love everything about the decks. I love the paper, even though I have to say that my Supra Oracle, which I got on Kickstarter when they first put it out long time ago, has the worst paper. It's so slippery. I think they changed it later for a better paper, but my Supra Oracle, I'm not particularly enjoying the paper. But this is, Materia Prima. Another OC, and all day decks, I think, belong to my most beautiful decks. And if you just joined, I'm going from like the older decks and coming towards newer ones. Another from the older decks that I think deserves the spot in the most beautiful tarot decks is this Dust to Onyx tarot. And again, first of all, it was just so unusual and different. I actually love this artwork. And this was the first time in my decks, and this is like a theme a little bit in what I'm doing, that a lot of these decks have my heart, because they kind of stayed in my memory, because it was the first of something. So this one was, I think, one of the first decks that I ever seen with this foil, UV foil, and it was so unusual and so different, and I was kind of really excited about it. And I remember that I couldn't get a copy, and then somebody from the group for the love of cards, it was still going strong. Who remembers these days when Eva, hey Maya, nice to see you guys. Do you remember the group for the love of cards that Kelly started? Kelly from the Truth and Story, she started the group, and then it kind of took its own life for a while. But we all used to share our favorite decks there, etc. So somebody from this lovely group had 2 copies from Kickstarter, and she swapped with me for something I can't remember. I still am very grateful for it. I love this copy. So yeah, this deck, I think it's beautiful, this edition. And then also to have that UV spot that comes up only, sometimes in the light. It's pretty cool. So Dust to Onyx, definitely one of the, hi Rachel, one of the most beautiful decks. So guys, I'm trying to go from the back, from the old times, old days. I already mentioned Marielle and some other stuff. So if you're late, then please rewatch it later. What else am I going to go with now? Okay, my friend Naomi has at some point swapped with me for this Gaian Tarot limited edition by Joanna Powell Colbert. And this is one of those earlier editions. And this deck ended up in the most beautiful decks because of the feel. I think this deck has the softest, this edition, because the cards are really big, they large cards, and they have this most beautiful soft paper, which feels like it's either waxed or, somehow when Honey Lou speaks about the soap, it feels like it's soaped. I don't know, it's not too slippery, but it's just so nice. So I love kind of handling this deck, and it just feels quite sacred. So this Gaian, what is it called again? Gaian tarot, right? I love it. Plus, it has one of the most beautiful Hierophant cards that I've ever seen, and that to me is the like essence of the Hierophant. Yeah, Three of Witches. Sharon, nobody knew I was doing a live. Even I didn't know I was doing a live. I just decided 15 minutes ago. So next time I will try to. It would be good, right, guys? Like if you hear, like to have a day, right? That's how you build community. That's how people know that they can come and you hear. So as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm so bad with consistency, but maybe I will hopefully, I don't want to even promise you, but I would like to pick a day that I can come and, join live. So Gaian Tarot, beautiful deck. It's not even that I love oh, hey, Honey Lou, I was just mentioning you and your soaping the cards, because I feel like this one has this something that I think resembles the soaping. It's such a nice addition of Gaian Tarot. And again, Eight of Fire has such a cool card, especially now when we have this CI Atlas swooshing through our near our ecliptic, really going through our constellations on the ecliptic. How interesting, right? An interstellar object. There's so many theories on it. We'll see what's going to happen. We also are ahead of a big two eclipses in September, right? So this is an eclipse month. I don't know if you guys are following this. This coming eclipse on the 7th of July, on Sunday. And in tropical astrology is in Pisces, and in true sidereal, so in real sky, it's kind of between, really, because it's at the end of Aquarius, and the moon is still in Aquarius when the eclipse happened, but in the stars of Aquarius, but a couple of hours later, it's moved into Pisces. And by the way, a little bit of housekeeping and promotion. If anybody's interested in comparing and learning more about two of your signs, so zodiac tropical sign and the star sign, the real sky sign, check out this webinar that I ran on Sunday. I decided on eclipse, I'm going to catch up with some people who signed up to, just have a chat about our signs. We are going to pull cards of our archetypes. We're going to compare, see how we sit with this one and this one. It's more of an interactive experiential, really. It's not going to be, very theoretical. I want us to just spend a sacred time together during the eclipse. So if you need any more information, I link it in the description. You can check it out. You can still sign up until Saturday. And we're meeting on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern time and 7 p.m. UK and 8 p.m. CET time. It's only $44. So if you want to join in, I'm going to explain a little bit more about the difference between tropical and true sidereal, but also mostly we are going to be playing and exploring. Like I'm, for example, a Sagittarius, right? In tropical astrology. And if you follow me, I'm traveling a lot. I love it all. But in the constellation, in the real sky, when I was born, then sun was actually moving through the constellation of Scorpio. So I will be exploring the card of Temperance for Sagittarius and the card of Death for Scorpio. We will be going into Ascendant and Moon, and each of whoever joins will receive the tropical and the true sidereal chart, so we can play with this. I think these two systems are really amazing, and they give a little bit different approaches. I explain everything. I don't want to go into it now, but I just wanted to let you know, because you know how algorithm works. It's not showing too many posts that you want to earn money on. So if anybody likes astrology and tarot, you can guys take a look and see you on Sunday. So this was the Gaian Tarot. Oh, Victoria. So Victoria, if you're still here, this is the one that you sent me at some point by Shelley Corbett, the Tarot, Abyssal Tarot. And this is a deck that I actually practically I never use it. And I can never get rid of it. Okay. Yeah, honey, low eclipses. Woot woot. Oh, and I picked some cards that I can actually show without YouTube stopping me from showing them because they're too graphic. Where are they? Okay. Anyway, I just explain why I chose this deck. So I chose this deck because, and again, thank you, Victoria, for sending it to me. I chose this deck because this was one of the first decks. Again, we go into the first of that. I was like, wow, what did she do? She actually did. You still have it, yeah. She actually did photographs underwater for these images, and they so like otherworldly. Some of them are so graphic and crazy. So, I can see it's not a deck for everybody and definitely not a deck for everyday use. But I don't know, it's a wonderful, wonderful deck. And it has this spot in my collection because it's so unusual and the idea of it is just crazy. And I always think, wow, this is so cool that she did that. And it looks so amazing. Oh, you pull one card at the end of a spread. Yeah. I love some of the images. They're so poetic and so kind of nearly like watercolors, but it's just this nearly crazy vibe, like this sacred madness, that comes when you look at some of these cards. Yeah, it's something very, very unusual about this deck. And I totally, totally dig it. So I picked cards, as I said, that don't display too many naked bodies, etc., because we're so Puritan that we can't show naked bodies anymore. Wow. You know my opinion on this. Never agreed with it, never will. Body is a body, and that's what I think about it. Anyway, the keywords on the sides are good. Yes, this deck in general, it's a very interesting deck, but yes, I said I rarely use it. So it's called Abyssal Tarot. Abyssal Tarot. Photographic deck. So, there's one deck that recently Natalia reminded me of. Oh shit! No, I don't remember the title. But it was also photographic, and it was a lot of pinks, and it was something with the light, like Invisible Light Tarot. Does anybody remember this deck? I used to have it, and then I swapped it. I thought I won't use it, and now I'm like, oh, I would want this deck again. And I don't even remember what it was called, Invisible Light Tarot or something like this. If you guys know what I'm talking about, please write it in the chat. It was like this pinks and like strange photographs as well, very moving. Victoria, do you remember what I'm talking about? Something with light. Anyway, all right, let's move on. Another deck that I love and I thought is very unusual, and it's on the you don't remember. It's on the most beautiful decks. It's a deck for Wonder Walking by Amy Chan. It was her name. Amy Won. I have an interview with Amy, and this deck is on my most beautiful decks. So obviously not just tarot decks, but Invisible Light. Yes. Thanks, Sharon. Thank you. Invisible Light Tarot. Yes. Oh, I want it back. I think I had it twice, and then both times I kind of realized I'm not using it and I moved it on. And now it's totally out of print. Yes, infrared photography, exactly. So that would be on the list because it would be the first of I've seen. But this one was the first deck that I was so surprised by. And it took me on many awesome adventures, this deck. So it comes with this explorer's journal as well. And I just love the idea of this deck because what Amy did, she allowed me to go and micro focus or macro focus, or like zoom out or zoom in on many different things in nature. And it allowed me to go in my ugly block, surroundings in winter and search for something beautiful. She uses a lot of strange words that for a word freak like me are amazing, but I never heard of them. So for example, pareidolia, which is seeing faces or scenes in unexpected places. So the question is, what can you spot today? She was saying like synesthesia is a practice of merging your senses. Can you relate two senses today? Some other cool words like, oh, this is another one, Thumbelina. What would the world look like if you were as small as Thumbelina? Express this creatively. I think she just tuned into something so beautiful with this deck. And it's a very strange deck, I know that it's not for everybody, but if you pay attention, if you want to do mindful exercises, if you want to practice mindfulness, this deck is just so beautiful. So it's definitely deserves a spot in my most beautiful tarot and oracle decks, mostly tarot. But and then one, I have two of Carol Herzer decks. I couldn't go without Carol, right? So this one is from Victoria, one is from Natalia. Yeah, see you, Sharon. So this one is, I thought I'm going to show the aura shadows. This one doesn't have glitter, but it has just this beautiful energy in it. Carol's decks are all amazing, but I think they all for different kind of moods, and when you feel, you just pull different ones. But this one has, it's too bright from the from the lights, but she worked a lot and on these images, and they look just very like oil paintings or something like really beautiful. Yeah, it's really gorgeous. It looks so much better in person actually than through the camera. But you can just sense like a really deep energetic kind of pull. And because it's called aura shadows, and because it's from Victoria, and because it's from Carol, and it's just so amazing. Yeah, I just thought I'm going to show this one. But to be honest, if I'm talking about my most beautiful decks, I would have to probably show all of Carol decks, because all of her decks are just amazing for all these different reasons. And this one, Natalia sent me. So this is I even wrote it because it's rubs off. It's Golden Soul. And Carol Herzer made it in 2023. So this one has this yellow backs, and it's all in these autumnal colors. This one has glitter, which probably, you know how it is with these decks. You can't really see them, and this light is pretty bad for showing decks up close. But yeah, this deck is gorgeous. I've never seen one in this particular colors. It's golds and oranges and different greens. It's quite green actually when you just look at it. Yeah, and it's kind of peaceful, but Hanilu, like, I love your deck, the one you sent me. It's so amazing. It's one of my favorites too. I kind of like the quieter ones, but sometimes I need my inner truth as well. So it's gorgeous. Has those little moments. But yeah, Carol's decks are amazing. I'm so glad that I somehow years ago came across her decks. I don't know even how that happened. I don't know, Victoria, have we known each other when I think we kind of slowly got to know each other by then, but I remember just getting the original deck from her. And yeah, it's anyway truly unique, as Hanilu says. All right, we're moving on. So all the older decks, we kind of slowly in in the newer territory. Okay, there's one more that belongs to one of my favorite and most beautiful decks, and this is the EME Oracle by Aminat Oladipo. And this deck is extra special to me because this arrived on the day when I was going to Vipassana, and I took this deck with me. So it has this extra 10 days of silence in it. And I notly was pulling always at the end of the day one card. And it was just like, when you don't have anything to read, you don't listen to anything, like when you're on this silent retreat, you're not allowed to have music, books, anything. But yeah, this deck was with me in the room. I was meditating in the room. There's a lot of different like just energy cleansing and then strengthening that goes on during this retreat. And this deck came with me, and I love this deck. Whenever I have a question, like something that's earthly, but also, anything spiritual, whatever, like this deck is always such a great deliverer. And I just love some of the artwork in this deck. Is so amazing. And also just how you shuffle, it just has this there's something soft and nice about it. It's kind of like rose petal, but it doesn't stick. It feels so good. And this deck also has, I already have so many personal stories connected to these cards. And whenever I use it, before I pull any cards ever from this deck, I always read this little prayer that Aminat put on the box. And I don't know, I just revere this deck. It's so beautiful. So this one also is quite an amazing deck. And then if we on Aminat Oladipo, and we're going from the back to the front, this is the Journey into Egypt Tarot. I also could post here all of Julie Kuchia Watt's decks. I picked this one just because it has one of my favorite high priestesses. I love nude. Anything with nude gets me excited. And yeah, this art in this deck is like very, it's first of all very Egyptian, so connected to ancient Egypt, but it's just so stunning. And I love Julie's decks. I in general love Julie's work. I love Julie. And yeah, some of the cards here they just like so good. I also love her Ma'at Tarot. Oh, you have this one, Maya. Yeah, it's gorgeous, right? Love the Sistrum. So Julie's decks, definitely some most beautiful decks ever. All right, so this is the Journey into Egypt Tarot. And I remember everybody was saying that these decks were out of print, and it was enough to write Julie. And she still had, even though she already had them on Make Playing Cards or on some other site or printer studio where you can buy her decks now. Yeah, yours has Mata, because I think you got it from Make Playing Cards, maybe, Maya, right? But at some point, I don't know if it's still the truth, but at some point, you could write Julie. Yeah, you could write Julie and ask her if she still has copies of self-published decks, and she still had about 100 of them at the time when I got this one. So it was quite incredible, because I really wanted the same version as I had her Ma'at Tarot. It was, it's a bit wider, and I know which one you're talking about with the from the Make Playing Cards, I think, because I have her recent one, the Astrology deck from there, and it's a totally different, it's totally different finish. But these ones that she printed herself, they're not matte, they're very shiny, but they're really beautiful, and the artwork and colors just like really come through so amazingly. Oh, hey, Rachel. I know that sucks, mate, what happened to you. I just read your newsletter and I thought, oh, no, that's horrible. And Anybody who has some healing abilities, please send some love to Rachel White. She has created these two totem tarot and totem flower essences, and she just had a really bad fall. And yeah, Rachel, lots of love to you, darling. I hope you're going to get better. Eclipse is seasons ahead, but I hope they spare you. Yeah, yeah. Take care, darling. Just enjoy the decks that I'm showing. You don't even have to, focus on anything. All right, another one of my most beautiful decks that I very rarely use is this La Flora Tarot. So some of these decks I use and some of these decks I never use, but they're amazing. Oh, Liz, hey. Yeah, good to catch you live too. So this one is so gorgeous and it's very unusual, but for plant lovers, the book that it comes with, it's incredible. It's like a piece of artwork, she did like it could go on exhibition somewhere on the wall. It's probably not very easy to use or read with. Let's not bullshit ourselves. Like it's not easy, okay? Even for seasoned readers, it's quite a stretch. So it's hard to draw on intuition when you just have pieces of leaves and something, right? But like you can, but it's not easy. It's not easy. I won't lie. But nevertheless, this deck will never leave my collection just because it gives me pleasure and it's just so beautiful. So some cards are much easier to read than others. And she also had this beautiful flora here that, as with Iami Oracle, I also always pull her card first and I always ask for blessing to use the deck. She also had some like seeker, black and white card, which you could pull like, yes and no, let's say, and maybe. And there was some like cool card with like luck, love, faith, and etc. So yeah, it's pretty cool idea too. And as I said, this deck deserves the spot here just because of production and just the general like elegance of the box and everything, the cards, but it is quite difficult to read with in practical terms. And and one of the older decks as well, which I thought I have to show in my favorites, Story Medicine Tarot. Do you know, guys? I have every deck of Jessica. And I just only realized that I miss one card. If anybody has the first edition of the Story Medicine Tarot and wants to, I don't know, swap for it or do something, please contact me because I'm missing 8 of Cups out of, I never realized. I had 2 copies. I sent one as a gift to Linda Hill, who does all the Red Seeds oracles and stuff, because she never had this deck. And I thought, oh, I have 2 copies, just Linda, I send you one. And then I had this new version and I noticed only years later that I miss 8 of Cups, which is an octopus. Hello. So, oh, you got a crown. I don't even know how these crowns are coming through. What is this? Yeah, Morticia is a gorgeous deck. So I wanted to show this Story Medicine Tarot, not the first one, the Story Medicine Tarot #1, right? But this one, because I always love this deck, and especially for those little, I call them prayers, but like spell words that are coming with the cards. And also when I look at it now, I'm thinking, wow, this deck was a lot of work. Can you imagine like painting by hand all of these images, thinking of like tarot correspondences, coming like through and downloading all those prayers and taking tarot archetypes to this next level? I think it's amazing. I move through my fear with the grace of the jellyfish. So sweet. Protection, we may all need it, especially for this eclipse season. I love also how she expresses emotions in the cards. So 3 of Swords, not afraid to express my grief. I am precious, and so are you. So this is a beautiful, beautiful deck. I give myself permission to let go. And Jessica's work, I remember, it's not only here because of the beauty, but also she was the first guest on my Inspired Tarot Map interview series. So I can't remember now what year it was, but it was when she created the first edition, first story, medicine story. And I remember she was my first guest. And from her, then I had Mary White. I have Vincent Pitisci, who has passed since then. I have Enrique Enriquez. I have Rachel White. Many amazing, amazing people. So you can take a look at this playlist. There's so many creators. I've got Lisa de Saint Croix. I've got who did the Light Seers Tarot? Jesus. Anyway, you know who am I talking about. Oh yeah, Lisa. Elise, you remember the interview with Jessica? I have interviews with Lise. We're talking about herbs. We're talking Chris Ann. Exactly. I have an interview with Chris Ann and many, many other people, like amazing creators of very interesting decks. I have interview with Ivo Manus, who creates crystal skulls, like really amazing ones. With Lise, we're talking about herbs. We even have 2 interviews because we chatted forever and we couldn't finish. So yeah, take a look. All right, let's move on. Spirit Magical Nature Tarot. It belongs here to my most beautiful decks, again, because it was the first deck I ever have on Eco Herbage paper, which is incredible to shuffle for me. I love this. I love the sound. I love the feel of it. And then also because it uses only natural pigments that come from rust, from earth, from plants, from pokeberries, from different natural pigments. And it just, I don't know, it feels sacred to hold and it feels sacred to use. It feels sacred to shuffle. I love it. So this one deserves the spot because, again, the idea, I just love it. You have this idea, right? I would love to make a deck with just natural pigments, and then actually to go and do it. It's so amazing when you're an artist and you have this. I love it. I think that's why I love big tarot collection, because it's just so incredible to come up with all these ideas. Another one that is an old one and that I received actually from a swap, which is so incredible. Yeah, the cardstock is the best. Yeah, exactly. Good for autumn for sure. This is from Tarot Sheet Retrieval, and this is the hand painted doddle. I wanted to show my first tarot doddle because this is definitely one of my most treasured decks ever. This one is from Tarot History, is the one that Enrique Enriquez used, because this was when I was studying with Enrique and I just was in love with Tarot de Marseille. I thought I'm going to get rid of all my decks and just use doddle. After a year of actually doing it, a year for me, guys, I actually used Tarot de Marseille mostly and only. And I remember doing readings for clients and thinking I had to pull Tarot de Marseille first and then put other cards on top of it to understand exactly what I want to say, because I was so used to reading Tarot de Marseille by then. And I loved it. And Enrique Enriquez, he inspired that kind of poet in me. And then open readings were very important then. And Johan Bendorf and a lot of Camelia Elias, lots of people who were just very inspiring around those. But then this is hand painted. So each card is actually hand painted and then hand cut. It's special, right? Nothing like beats it. It's like holding Carol Herzer's decks. They just special. And hi Saskia. And they just special and really amazing. So this is the Tarot Sheet Retrieval Tarot of Jean Dodali. And I thought, like, once I'm on Tarot de Marseille, this Peep Speak Tarot by Zara. I love her decks, Kitten Chops. First of all, she's incredible, such a lovely energy, such a beautiful lady. And I couldn't imagine a better person creating these decks. I don't know if you've ever seen her anywhere. I don't have an interview with her. I should get her on because I really love her work. And it's like you look at this and you kind of see Zara. It suits her. It's very honest expression of who she is, how she does art. It's incredible. And this Peep, Peep Speak Tarot is so gorgeous. This must be St. Francis, right? It looks like St. Francis. But yeah, again, this gorgeous foil, which gives you a little bit of blink, lovely backs, cute. It's small, it shuffles well, it's on linen paper. Oops. And it's really, really gorgeous, you know, on the childlike side of things, but really, really gorgeous. And a couple of kind of oracle cards, few. And of course, Pipish, because it's Pip Speaks, right? So it's Marseille deck. It's amazing. I love it. Really, really sweet. Love everything about it. Okay, a couple more decks, guys. Not too long. I won't keep you way too long. We couldn't go without my most beautiful decks. Yeah, you'd like to see Zara? I will invite her. I see if she wants to come. It would be lovely to see her. So Hettienne's decks. I'm going to show her recent one, The Mysteries of the Red Madonna. But I think my most precious is the first one, The Mysteries of Mary, because this was the deck that kind of returned Mary to me in her divine feminine goddess mother out of church type of energy, and it was such a big phase in my life. And you know, I have this divine Mary inspired tarot class also on my website, which is called the Devotion and Divination, and it's her decks, her Patreon, and her artwork. Like, I have a couple of her original altars in my room, and I always have them around me. You know, this is special. And these decks, first of all, again, like what I was saying about Jessica's decks and a lot of artists in this, you know, in this pile, imagine creating a 3D altar with all these little details and all this, everything she puts in is intentional. There is so much like magic and prayers and vision and, you know, theory and learning and research behind it. And it's just so beautiful. And then taking a picture of each of the images of these altars and then actually creating a deck. How much work, how much work. And yeah, these decks kind of change lives in my opinion. So this happened to me, and as I said, my most famous is favorite is the first one, the Mary Mysteries of Mary deck. And then I'm most familiar with the Black Madonna as well. This one is newer, so I'm going to you know, get to know her a bit more, because it's just been with me for a couple of months. Whereas that Mysteries of Mary like went with me to so many sanctuaries, to so many places, to so many sacred spots on earth, to incredible like festivals, and it's amazing. So another deck that I always praise is this Crimson Asteria Tarot, and again, kind of goes with Mary Magdalene. It has the similar, you know, it's edged red, and this one is kind of strange artwork. But to me, if I was to pick a witchy deck, I would pick this one. This to me is witchy. And it's not maybe just because of the strangeness of the figures, because they feel a bit more mystical and maybe a bit more fantastical, at least some of them. But this deck is very alchemical, and it definitely, for me, it awakens the witchy part of me. And there is something like kind of raw and bloody, and I don't even know how to explain it in any other way, but it's a very visceral reaction and physical reaction nearly that I get when I use these cards. and I really, really love it. It's very strange. One of the strangest maybe decks that actually speak to me. Because again, somebody could argue that it's quite difficult to read, but is there anyone in the chat who actually has this deck and uses it and likes it? Because I dropped a bit of glitter on it. It's so bad. I just love this deck. And the booklet is actually really great. And comes like explains everything that's on the card, which helps a lot. Okay, few more decks, 5 more decks, guys, and I want to. There might be more. Okay, let's just go with whatever. When it comes to tough editions, I know that a lot of us love, or Honey Lou, if she's still here, I don't know, but she's the specialist of tough and different editions, etc. I have a lot of different Toph versions because Toph is one of those decks that I always used to get as a gift until I bought this copy. Even when I bought myself a copy of Greenie, Victoria had to send me her Greenie because my copy was missing cards. I mean, had to. She sent me because she wanted to. But like I just couldn't get a copy of Toph that was working for me. I was always receiving Toph as a gift. And this was always the first deck that I was gifted in general. But my favorite edition of Toph, apart from the old ones and Greenie, I love them all. But this newest edition of AGM Müller, it's my favorite ever. I think the coloring, I have the Polish edition here, so it also came with this beautiful box and it's incredible. But the coloring, paper, the bags, it just all goes together and it's so, so gorgeous. The colors are out of this world. I think they're fantastic. They're so beautiful. Apparently, they're the closest to the original that you get. And I don't know if it can show, but like there's this peaches, there's so many different colors. They're not over contrasted like all the other Toph decks, or like bland or something lacking color. It's so, so beautiful. I love it. And this is my favorite Toph edition ever. So I'm really excited. And it makes me actually use Toph so much more because of also how the cards feel. That's amazing. It's very, very beautiful. So we're very close to the newest. Oh, one more deck. I should have mentioned it with Mary. It's the Rose Alchemy. Oh, and Oracle of Initiation. Oh my God, guys, I was trying to limit. There's so many amazing decks, but Rose Oracle is just very unique and very different. And I never seen anything like this before. I've never seen anybody who has done something like this, that had this connection to flowers, to the roses specifically, and had this whole download of information about the rose codes and connected it to divine feminine, connected it to chakras, connected it to feng shui, or this was the something like feng shui, and also to divine feminine, and had these downloads about Mary and Mary Magdalene, etc., etc. So if you into this deck and Sandy's work in general, it's really beautiful. Again, very soulful, a little bit different. And 3 more decks, the newer ones. So one is the Death Doula Oracle. I wanted to put it on because, again, this one definitely comes for production. Everything is so top notch. The same with the Circle of Doors tarot. It's just amazing. And this one has the Spolia tarot, a little bit of this like shush. That Spolia tarot, whoever had Spolia tarot before, it has this really lovely sound when you shuffle it. And Death Doula Oracle has it too. It's beautiful. I love its elegance. And then it's modern. It's so different. Oh, we have Abyssal, the word Abyssal Plane. It's so unique. It's a little bit like why I would like the Invisible Light Tarot again, because of this deck. It has this mood, it has this photographic kind of vibe, and it comes with all these different keywords that speak of the process of initiation as well, and transition, and dying and being reborn. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful, it's different. So definitely deserves a spot in my most beautiful decks collection. And we know what I think about the Circle of Doors Tarot. This is a very complete project, like it's amazing. So I have, most of my decks are beautiful, but I pick decks that have something like extra, where the first off, or just something incredible what they did. And this project is, I love it. I love that two women and a man work together on this. You can see the interview that I've done with the creators of this deck as well. Again, photographic deck, black and white, paper is amazing, everything is like top notch. The book is so good that I use it sometimes for any tarot decks that come and go, any different ones. It's beautifully written, very cool. Everything is incredible. They had an exhibition when you walk in, and you have all these doors, that lead to all different major arcana. Amazing deck. And then the last one is the newest one, and I think I want to show also the one that I got by Ethel Colquhoun, which is the Tarot is Color. Yeah, exactly, Maya, exactly. Some of them we don't use so often, some of them are just so incredible to look at. So Tarot is Color is like very strange, just like these blobs of color, but it's so intuitive. And she, of course, didn't do the blobs just like, oh, I like yellow and I like orange. She actually, of course, researched Golden Dawn associations with color, and she did it based on this. So you can compare sometimes with Toph, but I love this, and I shared it in my recent video that she wrote. After I had completed the pack, I saw some slides of moving nebulas in outer space and the birth of stars. These recalled my designs and confirmed my conviction of their cosmographic function. What can you say? What else can you say to an astrologer and to tarot lover in one? Thank you. Mic drop. So the last one is my Color Vision Oracle by Alison. Hi, Kevin. By Alison Kaler. I have an interview with Alison as well. Again, there is just something beautiful about this deck. I love the idea. I love that she added a bit of blink to it. I love that she has this like, disco ball effect, because you come only firstly with colors. So these are solids, just like singular color, which you can learn about as well, because the booklet looks like a zine and it comes with this amazing info. And then this part of the deck also has the oracle keywords. And I think it's amazing. I love this deck. This deck is my favorite. Recently, I've been using it forever and ever and ever. And I don't know, I don't get bored of it because it has so many levels. I've heard somebody saying that it's because of there's so much information that they don't use it very often. So probably depends how your brain works. Oh, you're going to the Tate Britain. Yeah, somebody sent me. Oh, hey, Natalia. I was just showing I was talking about you, of course. So Color Vision Oracle, I love it. What I was saying that, yeah, it depends of how your brain works. Some people will love it because of the immense, quality of information, but for some people might be too much. All right, that's it. Natalia, you came at the end of it, so nice to see you and goodbye. Thanks everybody who joined in this very impromptu live. Give me a like, give me a comment if you have any decks, favorites, anything, share with me, please. And if you're interested in this truth ideal versus tropical stuff, join me this Sunday. We can still sign up. Kevin, you also came bit late, but see you guys next time. As I said, maybe I will create a day where I will be here, and if somebody can join, you will know that I'm here, and I don't have to surprise you and come, out of nowhere. So thanks everyone. I speak to you soon. Bye.